नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिवसमारम्भाम् नित्यानन्देश्वरि पराशक्तिमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome you all with my love and respects. I welcome all the devotees, disciples, Samajis, Satsangis, Srimahans, Mahants, Tanidar, Kotari, visitors, viewers sitting with us all over the world through Nityananda TV, in Adi Kailasha, Paschima Kailasa, and two-way video conferencing. I welcome all of you with my love and respects. So now I'll continue to expand on Nityananda Jnana Paddhati, the ultimate compilations from Vedagamas. Adi Kauduhalavishta Prachasheta Shrunu Priye Yanme Netrantare Vannir Yatvamrutamannuttamam. The translation, Bhagavan Paramashiva says, you ask these questions with great eagerness and intense yearning. Listen, dear, I'll speak all about that fire and the incomparable ultimate nectar which is within my eye, in between the eyes, Netrantare. Now I want to tell you one important thing. The moment Mahadeva explains what is needed from a disciple and how a guru should respond, he directly enters into the subject. He is straight to the experience. He is not wasting time. He is not bothered about the haters. He is very clear. If you are this, I will be this. Let's start the work. He is not bothered about stupid haters, trolls. I don't want to say in those days when Paramashiva was teaching all these signs that everyone were integrated or in tune with Mahadeva. No. But he doesn't care. He just starts the work. I have seen many times these so-called rationalists, atheists, this gang try to challenge. If God is there, tell him to appear in front of me and prove. Why should he? It is like you ask a rich man, if you are a billionaire, give me 10 million and prove. Why should he give? He will give if he decides to give, and if you behave with him. It is as stupid as telling a rich man, if you are a billionaire, give me few millions and prove you are a billionaire. Or even asking, if you are a billionaire, give all the billions to me and then prove you are a billionaire. Why should he give? Actually, billionaire will continue to keep you in poverty and plan to keep you in poverty to show he is a rich guy and you don't have what he has. Of course, Paramashiva is not going to do that. At least he expects you are ready to receive his gift. Understand? His darshan, his anugraha. The best gift somebody can have in the life is gratitude, love, feeling connection to Guru, higher possibility, and Paramashiva, God. Understand? The whole brain getting focused towards the source happens when you overflow with love and gratitude. I tell you, even a love based on hormonal reactions and ups and downs makes you feel the life around you is so beautiful and green. Rose is more rosy and grass is more green. Things are more bright. If gratitude overflows, what will become your life? I tell you, the biggest gift a person can have in the life is gratitude, devotion, higher emotions getting activated. Understand? It is not for cheap guys. Even ordinary love, which is reaction of your hormones and chemicals ups and downs, can make you feel so many things around you are good, and gratitude will make you feel all the unknown dimensions of your life is good. I tell you, when you are in love, even with one person, you will feel all human beings, whether known or unknown to you, are good. You assume, listen, experience gives you the powerfulness of expertise. So your experience of love with one person makes you feel that you are expert in dealing with all human beings, gives a kind of a courage and powerfulness and inspiration to get into the life, to get going. I tell you, if love is one head fulfilled, devotion is thousands of head fulfilled. In devotion, in gratitude, suddenly you feel this whole universe you know it and it is good, and all the unknown universe, unknown components, parts of the universe, avyakta, all that is also good and beautiful. Suddenly you get so much of powerfulness to get going with the whole universe in the journey of life. I tell you, that's the greatest gift. Actually, during this whole persecution and attack on me, the only one thing I asked Paramashiva, Prabhu, what is exactly the reason why it is happening the way it is happening? Can you give me the precise understanding? Please understand, I always lived as a chaste disciple and devotee of Paramashiva. Never asked him the question and never asked him to change anything. I only said, can you make me understand the whole happening? He said, too many people who are not qualified have started enjoying the higher dimension of gratitude, bhakti. The first thing I did, removed bhakti from them. I tell you, when he wanted to destroy Tripurasuras, because they were becoming too arrogant, first thing he did, he removed bhakti from them. I started laughing. Oh God! Understand? When bhakti is removed, you are not killed, you are destroyed. Do whatever it takes. Cry, fall at his feet, pray, complete, do what it takes, whether rolling on the ground or what it takes. Ask Paramashiva just to give bhakti to him. I tell you, devotion to him, because in devotion to him, your whole reflection gets centered on the source. The whole reflection gets centered on the source. Nothing else is required. I tell you, if you have fallen in love, especially puppy love, suddenly you will see everything around you is so green and you get so much confidence, purpose, reason to exist, and you decide to take on life, powerfulness. And when you fall in love with the Paramashiva, the love, devotion, gratitude, that same feeling comes in multi-dimensional way. Your whole existence feels powerful. The most powerful way to exist, highest frequency to exist, best depth of existence is the reflection which is happening in your brain, looking back, focusing back itself to the source, which happens when you manifest bhakti. I tell you. In my life, when Ganesha ate food, when Arunagiri Yogeshwara gave me the experience of oneness, when Annamalai Swamigal gave me the ultimate powerful cognition, when I had the enlightenment experience in Pavalakkundru, when Mata Vibhudananda gave me the darshan of Parashakti, in every time, I tell you, it is the bhakti with which I was left that empowered me. That powerfulness is the reason why I was able to withstand all these stupid attacks. Not only that, that powerfulness makes me constantly move so much of trust on existence, powerfulness, and feeling like moving. I just know when I meet Emma, he will stand with head bowed down. I just know when I meet Indra, of course, before they bow down, I'll bow down, that is different. But I know it will be a great, respectful meeting. I just know the whole cosmos, the way it is treating me and going to treat me. This powerfulness is the result of bhakti. If you know puppy love, you know 1 unit of bhakti. And the good news is, the puppy love and bhakti may be 2 ends. It is only quantitative difference, not qualitative. It is only the quantitative difference, not qualitative. In the level of puppy love, you can call it kick. In the level of bhakti, you call it bhava samadhi. That's all. It is only the quantitative difference, not qualitative. Unit is one and the same. If you have tasted puppy love, you have a right hardware and you are hardwired and you are ready for bhakti. Don't miss it. That's the best experience your brain can have. If you have not soaked your brain in bhakti even once, you are poor. All your imagination about life is cheap. It's like a poor man's imagination about rich life. When my grandmother died, leaving so much of gold and silver and jewelry in her trunk box, the first thing I felt is, this lady will give me 1 anna, a few paisas to buy tobacco leaf for her and candy for me from the corner shop in the local village. If I know she has so much money, she could have given me, and I would have given the whole thing to that shop wala, and every day she could have had tobacco leaf and I would have had enough candy for whole life. Understand? This is what is poor man's imagination about rich life. So at that time I had money means, what is my best imagination about richness? Give the money to that local corner shop wala, the guy who runs the shop in the corner, and have candy every day. But actually the rich man's life can never be conceived by a poor man. I tell you, the person empowered with bhakti, devotion, you can never think or conceive his existence from your so-called rational and atheism. Do what it takes. Whether your bhakti flowers, if you sing or make a garland, paint or bow down or roll on the ground, offer milk, whatever makes your bhakti flower, do that. The kind of the powerfulness that will bring in your system. not just fulfillment, the courage of practicing Sanatana Hindu Dharma, courage of the cosmic principles. If you are integrated to your Father and you just know everything He wants is yours, that's all. When you are integrated to Paramashiva, you just know everything He wants is yours. I tell you, I never asked Arunagiri Yogeshwara for any powers. I just know whatever he has is mine. The way I was in love with him, the way I was relating with him and he was responding to me, I just know whatever he has is mine. The whole cognition functions in a different way. For example, I had one of my tooth got removed. I don't know exactly what is the reason. When I was maybe 14, 15, the first thing I felt is, oh God, that is the teeth with which I used to bite Arunagiri Yogeshwara's finger and thumb when I sleep with him. So I'll just hold his thumb in my mouth so that he doesn't get up and run away, or he doesn't get up and move out when I am sleeping at his lap. The first thing I felt, oh God, that teeth is being removed. The cognition and the perception about everything, idea of pain, selfishness, right, wrong, everything becomes different when you start operating from the love. 14, 15-year-old boy, and when the teeth is being removed, first I should have felt pain. If not, I should have felt, oh, will I be able to have some other transplant? Of course, in Indian villages in those days, it was not that popular, putting another one teeth or transplant and all those. So I didn't get it done, but they have removed the teeth, and nothing else was in my inner space other than, oh God, that's the teeth with which I used to clamp his thumb in my mouth. The kind of a devotion I cherished, I just know not only whatever he has, he himself is mine. I tell you, even if it is delusion, it is worth enjoying, and it is not delusion. Even if you think it is a delusion, it is worth enjoying than any of your drugs, stupid drugs. I am ready to debate with any one atheist, rational dog, so-called atheist or rational fellows. If you are not addicted to any drug, alcohol, anything, then I am ready to debate on this point. which they claim devotion is a drug. Fool, even if devotion is a drug, it's making me more healthy. But the drug you are using is destroying you. The stupid fellows who claim religion is opium. I'm asking them, any one of you, if you are practicing atheist and you are not addicted, come on, I'm ready to prove. I'm ready to debate with you. Understand, even if it is delusion, it is worth enjoying. It is not delusion, you will understand, because what you want, universe just supports. When universe supports you, how can you call something as delusion? I tell you, when I melt down in devotion with Kapila, I can see very clearly the whole Sankhya principles reflecting and downloading in my brain. Down to Mahadeva, I can see very clearly the whole science of Agama and Agama reflecting in me. Just by devotion, the source showers itself to you. Because that connection is established by the first line here, Paramashiva enters into the process directly. He says, I will start talking about the fire. Fire is too important thing in Hindu tradition. The 5 elements. Five elements, 5 actions, 5 phases of Mahadeva. All these are closely connected. The earth element represents creation, and water elements represents sustenance, and fire element represents rejuvenation. Air represents prabhava, delusion, and the space represents liberation. He says, let me talk about that fire. Incomparable, ultimate nectar, which is within my eye, between the eyebrows. From today, I'll directly make you all manifest by guiding all of you into the powerful process, alchemy processes described in this Jnana Paddhati. Now, I'll lead you directly into the process Paramashiva is explaining in this verse. Sit with your head, neck, and spine straight. If you want, you can close your eyes, and if you don't want, you don't need to. It's up to you. Let the space between your eyes, the third eye, netrantare, third eye of all of us, open up. The space between both the eyes lit up. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. The eternal fire and the nectar start opening up in all our third eye. Let all our third eye open up, manifest the fire, one me. Let all our third eyes open. Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour. Let the Varni open up. Let the state, space and powers of Paramashiva manifest in all of us. Paramashivoham, Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva overflow manifest the powers in all our third eyes. By the grace of Paramashiva, let Paramashivoham happen in all of us. With this, I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, living Shuddhadvaita Saivam, Paramashivoham, the eternal bliss, Nityananda. Thank you. Be blissful.